Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Matt, I am the American-Canadian Gamer, and welcome back to my Halo 5 wishlist. Now, it's been a while since I last did one of these, but I'm really excited about this one because today we are discussing one of my favorite additions to Halo 4, armor abilities. Now, I love the concept of armor abilities. In a genre that's becoming more homogenized every day, armor abilities are something that is new and exciting. Only a few shooters have incorporated them, and in fact, the only ones that kind of spring to mind are Halo 4, Titanfall, and Gotham City Imposters. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if there are other shooters that have done this, but those are the biggest ones that I can think of. Now, for all their potential, I do believe that armor abilities did have poor execution in Halo 4. I don't think that all of the armor abilities that were available in single player belonged in the multiplayer, and I feel that they could have added a few more. But I think their biggest mistake was making armor abilities part of the loadouts. Now, I covered this in my loadouts video, but I think 343 should make armor abilities a separate selection from your loadout. This way, they can decide which armor abilities belong in which playlists and which game types, and any armor abilities that are too unbalanced can be relegated to custom game options, single player, and social game types like Fiesta. Now, this would allow them to add whatever armor abilities they want, and then allocate them to different parts of the game as they see fit. The best example is Promethean Vision. Promethean Vision is an amazing armor ability for single player, but garners mixed reactions in multiplayer. With the system I have devised, they could keep Promethean Vision in the single player and custom game options, while not having it in standard matchmaking. So before I mention what armor abilities that I want to see added to the game, let's go over to the ones that already exist in Halo 4. Now, the ones that I think are perfectly fine as they are and don't need to see any changes would be the Hard Light Shield, Thruster Pack, and Hologram, although the Thruster Pack could maybe do with a little more distance. Now, the armor abilities that I think are good but need to be removed from multiplayer are the Regen Field and Promethean Vision. They're great in other aspects of the game, but I don't feel that they belong in standard multiplayer. And finally, I think the Auto Sentry should be removed for a completely unrelated reason that we will get to in another video. Now, for armor abilities that I would change, the Jetpack is the first ability that I would either revamp or remove from multiplayer. As much as I love it, it completely breaks map flow and grants a massive advantage to the people that use it. Either remove it from multiplayer or, and this is my preferred option, alter it to be more akin to a double jump where you momentarily lose control of your Spartan. Think of it like a vertical thruster pack. You could just call it a jump jet instead of a jetpack. I think it would be a much more balanced alternative. It would allow players to gain a little extra height, but not as much as the current jetpack, and removing the ability to fire while using it eliminates one of the largest issues the current ability presents. The next one that I would like to see changed is active camouflage. Invisibility is an interesting concept in multiplayer shooters because everyone has a different approach to balancing it. After all, how do you balance the ability to become invisible? Halo 4 allows players to take action while the ability is active, but they create a series of radar markers to let everyone know that there's an invisible person nearby. And I think this is the wrong way to approach this armor ability because it simultaneously makes it weak and overpowered. In close quarters combat, a player is better off just hiding in a corner without the ability, because otherwise a smart opponent will just chuck a grenade at the markers. And on large maps, it allows invisible players to pick off their enemies with what I would honestly call an unfair advantage. So how do you change active camouflage to make it more balanced? Many would just say, get rid of it, remove it, but to be honest, the ability to go invisible is attractive to me. But the balancing in Halo 4 only makes stealth good from a distance. I say that they should look at the Spy in Team Fortress 2. The Spy in Team Fortress 2 retains full mobility while cloaked, and he'll flicker just a little bit if he gets shot or he runs into an opponent. However, while he is cloaked, he cannot attack or take any other actions until he uncloaks. And both the act of cloaking and uncloaking make a fair amount of noise to alert nearby players, and they take a small amount of time. They're not instantaneous, so spies have to be careful about when and where they decloak. This is how I believe Halo 4 should approach active camouflage. Allow Spartans to move at full speed, but be unable to attack or capture objectives until they uncloak. I would also like to mention that if sprinting returns, disable the ability to sprint while cloaked, otherwise people are just going to cloak and run away, and that's going to be frustrating for everybody. Now the only problem that a cloaked player faces is the normal motion sensor, which, to be honest, ruins any element of stealth except for crouch walking. Now, since there is no motion sensor in competitive play and other game types, you need another balancing factor: sound. There should be a very distinctive sound made when a player both cloaks and uncloaks, and it should take a short moment. I think that these changes would balance active camouflage by making it an option that allows for true stealth and scouting purposes without making it overpowered. So with all of that out of the way, let's talk about armor abilities that I want to see added to Halo 5. And the first one I call Blink. This ability, which was called Teleport, was cut from Halo 4. It allowed players to teleport forward a good distance pretty quickly. I have no idea how balanced it would be in multiplayer, but with the system I suggested earlier, it would be easy to keep it in areas where it doesn't ruin the game. Next, I would like to see some kind of energy-based grappling hook added that would allow you to cling to walls and fire weapons, or if you aim it properly, it pulls players towards you, or you can grab equipment on the field with it. Now, players could potentially use it to reach undesirable areas and break the maps, but as long as the soft kill zones and hard kill zones are implemented properly, that won't be a problem. And even if someone camps on a wall or a ceiling with a rifle or rocket launcher, they won't be able to move at all. So they're pretty much going to be a sitting duck the whole time they're up there. And then you can also play with how quickly the grappling hook's charge meter is drained while you're hanging on a wall, so that you just can't sit up there for a minute at a time. Also, limiting the distance from which you can grapple would be a really good idea, so that you can't just grapple from the lowest to the highest point of the map at any moment that you want. And maybe not letting the grappling hook grab flags and other objects would be a pretty good idea. Still, I like grappling hooks, and having one in Halo would be awesome for me. So now that I've made my case, do you agree with what I have said? Do you like the idea of armor abilities? And if so, what armor abilities would you add to the game? I will be looking forward to seeing your responses in the comments section. And it would appear that I've actually gone through all of my thoughts and ideas before I actually used up all of my footage, so please just enjoy the rest of the match. I felt like it went pretty good. It's kind of an old one. I've had it sitting on my hard drive for quite a while now, and I'm glad that I finally got to use it. And be sure to tune in next time, because I will be discussing the return of equipment. So, as always, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. My name is Matt, and I'll see you next time.